Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the channel. We'll get started here in just a minute. Right. Thank you for tuning in this evening. I am your host, Tiberius. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you all again. Obviously, you can see from the schedule below, we do streams on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sunday afternoons. Right when the Swarm reset, server reset for Sundays. Move that. We're glad to have you with us again. Tonight's show, we'll talk a little bit more about the lockbox, but I think most people are kind of burned out on that already. That discussion's been going back and forth for a couple of days now, and I feel like everything that can be said pretty much has been said. Um, we'll look at some other things in the game that are going on right now, and maybe, just maybe, since I did unlock ROM, we'll go looking for a base or two to hit and test out some crews and look at some battle logs. Got an hour left on a couple of these missions. I think my Mud is currently out on an assignment. Did I send him on? Nope, I didn't send him on that one. That's the one he usually goes on, is Time Heist. Mud's pretty much the best officer for trying to complete this. He has 3 of the necessary Escape Artist, Criminal, and Mastermind. So he's the best at recruiting Burnham shards, which makes sense. They're kind of in the show together, right? Interacted with each other. But where did I send him? Nope, he's not there. He's not there. Did I finish the one that he was on? Ah, there he is. Alright, so this one ends in 38 minutes, but we can speed that up. Alright, that'll be ready in 3 minutes. Alright, so we got 3 minutes to kill some more hostiles. So if you've been doing your battle pass every day, today should have been the day that you finished it up and got your final milestone. Battle pass milestone completed. Final milestone here. Yesterday they left us like 1,000 points short because, that's how they do and how they stretch these things out. Usually you finish up with like 3 or 4 days left to spare. We had a good run here early on where we didn't have any interruptions. Usually like halfway point, there's usually a day where you have to play catch up, and you don't get anything for that one day. To this month, it was like at like 15 or 16, and then again at 19. So it was a little different. But today, if you're in the elite bottom half of the battle pass, you got 16 ROM shards, which between the ones they've given away and the other milestones, and if you purchased the elite one, you had the 33 extra shards. I did not purchase that, but I did score well enough on some of the leaderboards to get the additional shards. I think I got 26 both times, so that was enough to, or 26 and 17, I think is what I got. So that was enough to kind of put me ahead. So ROM was unlocked this afternoon, and we'll get to see what we can do with our officer here. Most people, from the videos I've seen and seen other people's battle logs and stuff, you've got ROM as captain with his amazing ability to prevent them from firing, and then he also increases the number of shots of your ship's weapons by 50% when you're attacking a station. So people like to pair him up with Mud, because if Mud's officer ability procs, he doubles the shots of all weapons for the first round of combat as well. So that gives you more shots in the first round. Mine's only tier 3 here, so it's only a 40%. So how close is he? Oh, I'm pretty far off. Yeah, I need 250 more shards. Like maybe I could dump some transporter patterns to get Mr. Mud, but no, he's too far off. Um, so yeah, so he doubles up your shots as well. So between him and ROM adding extra shots, and they don't shoot you back in round 1, It lets you put a lot of damage. If he procs, doesn't always happen. The other combinations, usually that you'll also see Honor Guard Worf, the PvP officer, to increase your critical percent chance. So when you are getting those extra shots, you're hitting with criticals. The other guy is Harrison that people like to mix him up with because for the first round, when they're not shooting you, Harrison ignores 60% of their shields. So those extra shots you're getting with Rom, when they're not shooting back at you, you go right through their shields and put a lot of damage on the hull. So it's Harrison Worf or Harry Mudd Worf. Kind of the more popular combos for actually raiding bases. If you're just trying to do the, Rialta burn trick, then it's like Rom and Giorgio, and sometimes it's Giorgio Nero, just to give you a better chance of proccing. Um, Make sure you hit that burning in round one. But not necessarily as fun or as practical. So we're going to look for some bases, see what we can crack open here. We'll try both loadouts and see how they go. Where are we at here? What do I need? Like 30 million? 36 million to glorified. And we're almost under 100 million to go to champion. So we're making progress. We are making progress. We got this best in the biz. This is part 2. If your alliance finished in the top 50, which on most servers shouldn't have been too hard because there really aren't, at least on my server, there really aren't 50 active alliances. I think all the alliances from like 25 down were all in the single digits on players. Now we're looking at the top 50 players moving on. And again, this is not really very competitive in this particular bracket. I don't even know. There aren't even 50 players, so everybody's going to advance and get something. I'm trying to make sure I stay here in this 11 to 25 bracket. I currently have 500 of these epic luck tokens, so I just need 300 more. I'll get another chest pull and see what we get out of that. There's no other combination here that's going to get me 2 chest pulls, or exactly 2 chest pulls. Like I could win it and get 800, and that's about it. So there's nothing else here that's going to get me 2, so why waste the resources and time and effort? I'll just do just enough to stay in this little 11 to 25 bracket here. And I got some ground to give. It's not too challenging because it's officer XP or ship XP spent. Gets you a lot of points, and that's kind of the fastest way to jump up there. In case you missed it, Scopely messed up with this war and business. War is good for business milestones. These were 3 days longer than they should have been. Like you'll see how this one here ends in 1 day and 16 hours. They were all kind of supposed to end then. Because the solo leaderboard here for winning it or whatever, for finishing it, gives you Dabo tokens in 4 days and 16 hours. But if you go into your event store, your Dabo tokens expire in 4 days and 16 hours. So how is that going to work? I'm going to get a bunch of Dabo tokens, and then this is going to be closed out. I'm never going to get a chance to use them. They messed up. They've admitted they messed up, and they will be extending the event store 1 extra day to give everybody the opportunity to use those particular tokens. It wouldn't be a Scopely event, right, if they didn't mess up something. At least they changed the spelling on elimination this week, so. You just have to be really fast. You got 5 seconds, ready, go. Alright. I should be able to bring that back now, so let's just bring him back, because we'll use the auger. Because looking at my stfc.space for the ships that I own, if If you're not using this resource, I highly recommend it. stfc.space, and they have all kinds of these wonderful little database things. So you can look at ships, and let's look at the auger. Looking at the firing pattern, it shoots 4 times in the first round. Of the 34 epics, I believe that is the highest. The Enterprise does not. The Enterprise shoots twice in the first round. And I believe the D4 is the same. Yeah, shoots twice. This one just shoots twice every other round. So if you're looking to really capitalize on ROM, doubling up on extra shots, the auger is going to be our best friend for this one. So he shoots 4 times. If he gives me an extra 50%, that's 2 more shots. I'm shooting 6 times in the first round. Excuse me. So that's the ship of choice. Even some of the higher level ships, like the Kelvin, only shoots twice in the first round. The Kelvin's weapons are all in the second round. By this point in time, Rom's ability isn't working, and you're taking a lot more damage. And Harrison's ability also isn't working. So it's kind of what you're looking for is front-loaded damage. About the ISS Jellyfish. That also shoots 4 times in the first round. So that one's got the other ones. You've got the Valdor, and the Katinga would be the last one. The Valdor also shoots 4 times in the first round, so you certainly have options there. And the Katinga shoots 4 times in the first round. A lot more shots in the second round, but so they're all equally good at doing what they're going to do in round number 1, which is when you want them to do what it is they're going to do. So let's go ahead and get our good friend Harry Mudd back. And we'll just take a look and see while we're waiting for our ship to come back. I can do this one. I just got Gorkon back. We'll try and get some Klingon credits here. Nobody with dedicated. Nobody unlocked with relentless. So, all right. And we'll take those guys. So we got a 25% chance of getting 1,600 credits. It's the best we're going to get right now. This is 3-star, right? Common. Yeah. We'll let that one reset. Yeah, we're gonna let all these reset. They're gonna reset fresh in 48 minutes here. We're gonna let those ride. All right. So I guess while we're looking for this, we'll just wait a minute and a half here. We'll look for some targets. We'll take a look at the other events that are currently ongoing. This amalgam event really kind of, it's a little bit of another slap in the face here. They just put out the path to the free amalgam in the game by doing the Saturday junk boxes, whatever that event is called. I'm forgetting the name of right now. Where you can now get 8 amalgam blueprints, and it'll take you 13 weeks to do it. And now here's an event. If you build the amalgam, you'll get these 10 points, which will give you an extra ROM shard. And then if you tier up your amalgam, you get 150 million and 10 points. So that'll get you 3 more ROM shards and 2,000 more Dabo tokens. All you got to do is tier up your amalgam, because everybody's just sitting on all those amalgam parts, right? Because every time you get enough, that's what you do. You just kind of just sit on them, right? And now here you go. Upgrade a component, 20 million points. tier up 150 million points. So now you can also get 11 of 11 shards from this as well. All you got to do is, tier up your amalgam or upgrade some components, right? Yeah, now there's a bit of a log jam because everybody who did one component is all at 20,000, all tied. And then these couple people broke the tie by doing one of the other options, which is spend ship XP on any ship to separate themselves. I might have to do that, um, possibly just to get me 11 through 25. It's still 30 shards, so that's at least worth competing for. But of course, you know, how do you get parts to upgrade your amalgam? Well, you get them in the refinery, which you can do every 3 days, I think the cooldown is. Oh, look, we just did it, and it won't be over until just before the event ends. So maybe I get enough parts to upgrade one component. Or guess what? Guess what? They just put this. Oh, of course they did, right? Let's just tack it right over here. Here you go. Upgrade. Get parts for your amalgam for just $99.99. They gotta stop with the 99.99s. Everything is 99.99. It's really starting to wear on people's, thresholds a little bit. Everything costs 99.99. It adds up really fast. And all you're really buying this for is this. That's just all you want, so you can do the event. The rest of this stuff really isn't all that good. It's really not. Would I spend $100 so I can get 45,000 amalgam parts, which maybe will get me enough to tier up one full tier so I can get some Borg Barrett shards and a couple of ROM shards? Or would I spend $99.99 and go see what's in my treasury? Oh, look, here's a whole bunch of better resources. What should I spend my $100 on? Oh, I only have $100 to spend. Well, the answer is just buy both, right? No. It is not the answer. And the sooner they start to realize that, maybe we'll see some progress and we'll see, a lot of games sell things really cheap. Was it Candy Crush used to sell everything for like $3.99 and they made millions and millions of dollars doing that because they did it in volume. They had a lot of people playing the game and a lot of people who made small purchases. I bet a lot of people bought a North Star for $19.99. I bet a lot of people bought that first Devore for $19.99 because they were good investments that they were going to get a lot of longevity and use out of. And $20 isn't really breaking the bank. $100 over and over and over again adds up really fast. And it kind of turns people off on your game. Just saying. Public service announcement, Scopely. Admiral Akfart. There you go. That's nice. That's classy. It's a trap is right. Now, obviously, I know people in other countries pay a higher price, depending on what your conversion rates and stuff are. I've seen people in Canada paying, like 139, I think it is, or Canadian dollars, and some people in the UK are paying like 109, 119 pounds or whatever it is. So there's definitely a lot of different taxes and conversions and stuff added that can also add up and really start to drag these prices higher and higher. Okay, so we need Rom as captain. We want Worf so we crit. And we're going to try Dwight. Where's Dwight? There's Dwight. We're going to try Harry and see how Harry does. So we're looking at getting extra shots, 40% chance of getting double the shots, and hopefully those shots will be criticals. Alright, let's go hunting for some bases. We're going to go around in territory for now. Yeah, obviously depending on where you live, you have different prices and different taxes and things. that Scopely has to tack on. There's probably nobody living in here. One guy, two guys, three, four, all shielded. Okay. Oh, hey, they just got a new base. They just took a new sector today. This used to be ours, which is why you can still see that purple little guy there, because there's somebody from my alliance who still has their base there. We abandoned these two as we're moving a little further to the west here. Whose base is this? Oh. Well, he's been cracked. Does he have any resources worth stealing? Nope. So, he didn't get the alerts. We dropped this like 3 days ago. I guess either hasn't been on or didn't have anything worth stealing that he cared to worry about protecting. And there's nobody in here yet. Let's go see if there's anybody over here. Hey, here's a couple bases. 36. What you got? Oh, that's this guy. Okay, so this will be a good test. He's got an interceptor and 2 mining ships. He's got a Vidar and 2 miners there. So I'm going against the battle pass, or against the combat triangle in round 1 here. Let's see how good or bad this goes. Well, we expected to die because obviously the defense platforms on a level 36 base are pretty good. But let's see what we did. Let's see if Harry procced or not. We got the Vidar, we got the Botany Bay, we damaged the Devore. He delayed, I got the double. Okay, that's cool. He had Gorkon, he had Yuki, and Marcus, and Harrison. Alright, so I'm supposed to get 4 shots. Rom would give me 50% more, Rom would get me to 6. And then Harry here is going to double. So let's see. I don't think it's 12. I think he doubles the base. So maybe I get 10. We'll find out here in a second. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I had 4 shots. The base got doubled. So they both apply to the base here. Plus 50%, giving me 2 more, and then double shots giving me 4 more. So I got 6 bonus shots in round number 1. What did our 6 bonus shots get us? So we got 2 criticals right off the bat. Didn't put a lot of hull damage on the Vidar right away. It's mitigating a pretty good amount here. That could also be a possible officer here. And obviously I'm shooting against the combat triangle here. I'm using a battleship against an interceptor, which is not good. So he did mitigate quite a bit here. That's it's a little over 50% that he's mitigating right off the bat, and then the shields are absorbing a big chunk as well. So I would need something to sort of overcome this shield mitigation. Harrison might have worked pretty decently here too, because then that's all going to the shields, would be a bit lower. Wouldn't get the extra shots though, but you can't really guarantee you're going to get those. And now we start getting shot back here in round two. We take the defense platforms, which are really picking us apart. I'm not mitigating much at all. Don't have really good mitigation. And defense platforms, usually they have a pretty good, there's enough research to help your base overcome mitigation for your defense platforms. Big critical on the Obliterator, takes out the Vidar. Botany Bay doesn't really have much in the way of defenses, so we pick that off pretty quick here at the end of round two. But then we kind of get lit up here. My shields are gone. And I'm getting shot up by these defense platforms pretty decently, all going straight to the hull. Put a little bit of damage on the Devore, and that's really going to do it. Probably going to die here in round four. Yep. Okay, but that was a decent first look. Let's try this again. That was here. That guy's usually online pretty often, so. See if anybody else is around. Alright, so we got another couple bases here. Who's this guy? It's a 33. Darth Malgus. 21 million dilithium, 145 million tritanium. Don't mind if I do. So we'll try to do 2 or 3 base hits using Mud, and then we'll swap over to Harrison and try 2 or 3 base hits as well, just so we can see how much of a difference that makes in terms of longevity here. Hey, we won that time. So a little bit lower, a little bit smaller on the defense platforms. Battleship, going to go after the Franklin first because it's got the advantage over the Explorer. Then we'll get the Saladin, then move on to the defense platforms. Did they both go off again? Yes, they did. So I got lucky here again. This is, should only happen 4 out of 10 times, right? And then Worf crit. The first 3 hits were all criticals. Jeez. Franklin, dead. Okay. Extra shots going to the Franklin because that weapon is still targeting it. The weapon doesn't change in the middle of its firing. So now we're changing targets, and we're picking off the Saladin here. Putting some big hits on it as well with a couple more criticals. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 criticals of our 10 shots. Thanks to Worf, so that's also a little above average. Then we get a big critical with the Obliterator. Takes the shields completely down on the Saladin. Couple more criticals. A couple more criticals. Okay. This is like the best it possibly really could have gone, I think. And there we go. Saladin destroyed. And then it's just defense platforms from here on out. Obviously a level, this is a 33. Yeah, 33's defense platforms are significantly weaker. So they're going to not do as much damage to me. They're not going to have as high as shield health, so I'm able to put some death and destruction on them pretty quickly. And if we are going to do any base looting, we're going to need, if we're doing long distance raiding, usually you need speed. it's hard to do in territory. These guys are small enough that like an amalgam isn't going to have, you know, as strong of a benefit. The amalgam itself only has like 2 or 3 million hull capacity, especially at a lower tier. And then the bonus you get from it really is very dependent on who you're attacking. All right, so there's nobody. Oh, there's a couple guys over here. Who's this 34? Hey, you've got some decent resources. There's 400 million. And no. This one should go pretty easy then, because there's nobody home. Yeah, I should take almost no damage in that, thanks to Rom. Yeah, very, very little damage. Again, Mud procced again, so I got 10 shots in the first round. Must really be my lucky day. A couple of good crits there by War. 5 out of my 10 shots crit. Did a lot of damage here. Took the shield health all the way down on defense platform A. We get hit a couple times. There goes defense platform A. We wasted the big second shot. And then here's a few more criticals going through. So Mud doubles your shots for the first round. Rom just adds 50% more shots. So we got 2 big shots from the Obliterator there. We got a couple regular shots. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So my 2s become 3s, and my 1 became a 2. So other than that big first round, Mud's not doing a whole lot. Thanks for stopping by, Akfart. We appreciate you coming by. Be sure and follow so you get notifications when I do go live again. And good luck with your supper. All right, we're going to swap out Rom here. We're going to swap out Mud for Harrison and see if just doing a whole bunch more extra damage in round 1 is worth it. The other option I could do is put in someone like Marcus, who has a penetration, who will negate a lot of their mitigation. So then I should do more damage and not have so much absorbed by that base mitigation. What we got here? That's not bad. And don't care about any of these. But for science, we will try out Mr. Harrison. So instead of getting extra shots for round number 1, we're going to try and negate 60% of their shields instead. So normally whatever damage, when you do an attack, whatever damage goes through that doesn't get mitigated right off the bat, 80% goes to the shields, the other 20% gets applied to the hull. Harrison, his ability reduces 60% of their shield for the first round of combat. So that 80% that's supposed to go to the shields is actually only 20%. The rest of it's going straight through to the hull. So it flips them for round number 1. Instead of doing 80 shield and 20 hull, now you're doing, oh, he's reducing it by 60%. So you're doing 20 shield and 40 hull or something like that. That's not right. It's got to be 80-20. Yeah, he reverses them. I had it right the first time. All right, so let's go over here and let's see what we've got in these bases. Oh, it's just 185 million tritanium just sitting out there. Okay. Let's see how this battle log worked when we go back and repair. Okay, so we still took some damage. We got our extra shots. We got our Wharf crits. We're ignoring the shield for the first. So I shot for 135, 75,000 got mitigated right off the bat, so still over half. But the shield should have blocked, what's that, there's 60,000 left? So the shield should have blocked like 48,000 of the damage, and I should have put 12,000 to the hull. But instead I put 40,000 on the hull. So that kind of chewed up, as I'm sure we'll see here. Yeah, see, this, the Obliterator does it. A lot more shield health here. Now the shield's depleted. And now defense platform A has been destroyed. The other ones go down pretty quickly. Once A goes down, the other ones don't usually survive too much longer after that. There goes B. There goes C. And then we're getting rid of D and E here at the end. So pretty good showing in round number 1. Put a lot of damage straight through to defense platform A. We only got 6 shots instead of 10. Worf only critted twice. So overall, I would say that seems like that. It worked, but probably not as effective. It's more consistent that way. We'll say that. Harrison's obviously a static thing. He's more consistent. There are times where Mud's not going to proc. He's not going to do anything. And if Mud doesn't do anything, he's only supposed to work 40% of the time. If he doesn't do anything, well then, he's a high risk, high reward kind of guy. That's kind of how to look at it. Let's see. Darth Malgus, did you bubble? You did. So you got hit and you left your bubble up. Okay. And these guys still have a few minutes on their timers. We'll come down here and hit this guy again. See what he's got. So he's got his Enterprise. Now with Yuki Marcus Harrison. Alright, this will be a good test. Again, I expect to lose. But the question is just going to be how much damage do I get to put on him before I do. Alright, so we got the Enterprise destroyed. He's got the D4 sitting here as well, and Aphesia. So let's see what we did. We delayed. His ability is all procced. He's got extra bonus damage to the Enterprise from Yuki. He's reducing my shield health. Harrison doesn't do anything. His Harrison doesn't do anything because I'm not getting hit in round number 1. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 criticals out of my 6 shots. Very little Mitigation not very good at the Enterprise because I have the combat triangle in my favor. So he's only mitigating, what's that, about 25% of the damage? 280, 270, a little over, like 26, 27% is being mitigated. So then a lot of it would go to the shields, but because of Harrison, this is all going 130, 120, all bam, all right to the hull. So what's that? 250, 370, 400, 500, 550,000 hull damage because of obviously because of these criticals. But yeah, over 500,000 hull damage to the Enterprise right off the bat. But now we're running out of shields. We took his shields down thanks to a couple of big hits with the Obliterator. We're taking big chunks of hull damage. There's a critical that finishes off the Enterprise. And I do get a couple of shots here in on the D4. Its mitigation is obviously much higher because now I'm going against the combat triangle, so now it's like 50%, a little over 50% that it's mitigating here before I finally get destroyed. At least they have good shield discipline. Yeah, and it's nice, you know. They got the alert. That's the thing. If the game works right, and it gives you the alerts and tells you, that's always a plus. Okay. So Harrison, not bad. Obviously, still having issues with mitigation. I'm getting a lot of damage straight through, so more consistent. Kang's got high attack, right? Let's see if we switch it around and use increases the accuracy, so that's going to negate dodge. It's going to overcome some of that interceptor advantage based on the attack. My attack is 18,000 right now because it's pretty high because of a couple of low deck officers, Kang himself and Worf. So let's take a peek. And just curious to see if we overcome some of that base mitigation, if that helps us do more damage. And while we're at it, we'll take a peek at whatever else is going on in this system. Let's see if Accordia is... Are your shields down? I don't want the battle log. Where's your base? Hey, his shields are down. This guy bubbled up finally. Nope, 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 nope. Gotta flip my officers around first. So, we need stun. We need to flip them. And I need that stun. It's giving you max storage optimization for him being captain, plus increased cargo capacity and increased cargo capacity as officer abilities. My Valkys gets about almost 6 million here. Which, you know, there's not enough here that the amalgam's bonus would actually do much of anything. Alright, so this guy did repair. He put his Burrell out. These guys must be leftovers from a TC that they're just sort of hanging out. Probably going to get my ships blown up here, but hey. We're going to try it. We're going to try and see if we can't get a hit or two through, because this guy's got... Yeah, he's got some dilithium and titanium, but he does have a nice little power steel reserve there that I'm going to not necessarily be able to eat through. You can't repair while you're being attacked. So So if he was waiting for me to try and quick repair, he was not successful. Okay, so our opening battle log to crack this guy open. Yeah, Worf gave us a bunch of criticals. His mitigation is pretty low because, again, this is battleship against explorer. We get through the Burrell shields pretty quickly, and we take it down with these big criticals right here. And then the defense platforms, the mitigation on these was a bit lower. Now, this is closer to like 35%. So now I'm doing a bit more damage straight to the defense platforms. They're not absorbing nearly as much because of Kang doing the increased accuracy. So we did be able to walk away with 5.5 million, 6 million, 5.6 there. Let's see if he wants to bubble yet. Nope, not yet. All right, so I think what we learned from this is that yes, when Mud works, Mud's probably the best. He definitely has he's the high risk, high reward option. You're swinging for the fences trying to hit the home run. If he doesn't work, there's other guys that are more consistent options. And those guys might have over a longer period of time. You're not going to quite have the swings there. They're safer options. It's gonna kind of have to vary a little bit too, depending on what base you're going after and what kind of ships and stuff they have home. If you're trying to get through some big ships, different guys are going to work better depending on, if he had a bunch of interceptors home and I'm trying to take this down, yeah, then a Kang crew is certainly going to help me overcome that mitigation and damage because the extra shots aren't going to matter as much if all of it's getting mitigated because I'm going against the triangle. This guy could just bubble, but he's not. He could. He's got the option to, right, at any time now. What did this guy have? His shield still looked down too. Did he have better stuff? This guy was just all tritanium. We're going to go steal that instead. That'll pay for my repair bills. That's just straight 3 million tritanium. The auger's about 500k a hull. I wish it would take the different flight path and go around and then warp in from here. I can do it manually, but then I have to keep clicking in and out of the screen, and that's annoying. So to coming from the side, I would warp to here and then fly in from that way. I can move my base too. That would be easier and just change my flight path. I can move from here to Bamasa, and then that should change my flight path. Maybe we'll do that. Could also do this too. Where's one of these? Plus 85% warp speed. There we go. Anything here close to the edge? No. So we'll move our base to there. It still wants to send me around. Damn. That's weird. I hate some of these flight paths. It still wants to send me up and around. Maybe if I warp in. We'll see how it sends me. It's probably going to send me around again, and it's going to make me mad, but like if I want it to warp into here, it is still sending them up and around. But they're not coming in through the top. They're coming in from the side. It's still annoying. We'll share. And actually, might as well get a third ship here. And speed this along a little bit. So yeah, the Amalgam only has a base of like 2 million. The benefit to it, of course, is the combat scavenger here, which gives you an extra 0.3% of their remaining resources. To really have a big payoff, you really need to have them to have hundreds of millions to get a big benefit out of that. I don't think 400 million is really going to get me a whole lot, but I mean, why not? They're here, so. So my cargo capacity, let's see what the Amalgam gets me here. It's only a tier 3 Amalgam. So that got me an extra 118,000. So I got 2.2 million, 2.3 million. Oh, I could add Bator as well. She adds another 10%. Pan is out on away team assignment, so is Burnham. So I don't have any speed crews available. But I can put Bator there. So she adds 10% to the Amalgam's bonus. So when it decides it's going to steal me an extra 200,000, she'll add 10% to that, and it'll steal me 220,000. Not a whole lot to write home about, but I mean, every bit does add up a little bit, right? So, not like anybody else in that ship was doing anything useful. Alright. Finish this one up. Critical success. Nice 50 G4 uncommon. We'll definitely take crystal. Nothing good there. So now I got 129,000 oversized amount. So yeah, so she added an extra 10 grand to that basically. It's probably mostly Parsh deal. But hey, there's 150 million tritanium that we're working through there. And eventually we'll get through this Parsh steel wall and I can get to this 50 million dilithium, which is really what I wanted. But it's kind of hard to pass up 150 million free tritanium. All right, so Rom did his job. Certainly was a good alpha test there for day one. Obviously, getting him up higher will get more shots. Getting Mud up higher will make Mud more consistent, so he'll be. I think it's clear he's the best officer because if you can continually get those extra shots, instead of shooting 6 times, you're shooting 10 before they even get a chance. And then with Worf, hopefully making crits, obviously leveling up Worf as well, so you've got a higher chance of those shots being critical. Will certainly make a bigger difference, and I feel like that sort of just confirms for me what I've heard. I've seen a few battle logs, but it's like how accurate is it? feel like it's kind of going to be the way to go. So those certainly would be officers worth focusing on. Of course, Worf is a guy you always want to try and get shards for to level up wherever you can. Mud may be a guy who moves up a little bit in my transporter pattern rotation. If you go to recruits, he is available for transporter patterns. He's 1100 though. So if I needed 240 mud shards, it wouldn't just be 240,000. It would be a little bit more than that, plus an extra 24,000. Yeah, so he'd be like 260,000 to get the remaining shards that I need. He is also available in other packs, though. If you have high enough rogue reputation, you can get a chance daily to get extra Harry Mudd shards. If your faction rep with the rogues is high enough, you have this outlaw recruit box here where you can cash in these rogue credits for chances at various officer shards. And this is a daily pull. These rogue credits are earned by doing some of these other stuff, doing the directives, which you can do every day. Cashing in your Eclipse security codes gives you rogue credits. That also gets improved by research. And then every 3 days, 2 or 3 days, I think it's 3 days, you have this exchanged heist loot box that you can also do to get additional rogue credits and reputation by cashing in uncommon Eclipse Armada points. You're going there. You're going there. What was I just talking about? Eclipse points. Oh, research. In the outlaw tree. That's for the augment credits, that's the assimilated credits. It's a prime. Improves rogue credit bundles in the faction store. So this one here increases your rogue credit outputs by 100%. Also speeds up the ability to get those officers, but it is a prime. I forget exactly what materials that took, but we can check that out in stfc.space real quick. Home researches. Prime rogue credit yield in the outlaw tree. This one takes 4-star uncommon refined crystal. Takes 1,000 of it. And 90,000 outlaw research credits and 220 million dilithium. That's a lot of dilithium, but it does double your prime rogue credit yield, which over the course of the game will kind of swing things back in your favor a little bit. Getting those extra officer shards to get both Muds and Eurydice will certainly improve things for you there. Eventually, that'll also turn into other transporter patterns. If you get Avix and the other guy. Row. Avix and Row Mud. If you get them maxed out, these will start turning into transporter patterns. And then Mud, Harry Mudd, and Eurydice. Now these guys all take independent credits to tier up, um, and their officer abilities aren't bad, but they aren't great. Like very good against specific eclipses. Mud's is this is a guy you certainly want to level up. He's very good for going after those big capital ships. Sometimes even in armadas too. If you're kind of punching up in an armada, you're kind of the low man on the totem pole, or if you're just trying to punch up to something that's bigger than you. Um, Mud's ability does come in handy to do with the Beverly trick with shields and the shield regen and all that stuff. And then Eurydice, her, I feel like her officer ability isn't that great. 55% chance to heal 5% of the shields when they're depleted. That's her officer ability, is a chance to give you shields back when they go down. So again, kind of like Beverly, Eurydice and Mud could work together, and they'd give you some synergy. And then she adds 10% to damage when taking shield hit point damage. So if you have shields up and you get hit, um, but this right here is only when they're depleted. So I'm guessing it's only when they go down. So there's always a chance that she just might not work and put in the backup. And then you're kind of stuck. I don't know if she goes off every round. Like if your shields are down, if she would still keep trying. Or is it once she tries and they fail, she doesn't get them back up? I don't know. I haven't really used her all that much, to be honest. She's usually, because of her traits, a good away team officer. She was better because she was very good at particular missions that involved Latinum as the critical. But now with the Thesia, that's less valuable. Okay, so we got some new missions here. Still a bunch of junk. They traded in a bunch of commons for a bunch of commons. This one's always worth doing, this tactical simulator. Because not only do you get service rewards and these Axion ships, you also get ship XP, which you don't see. This is one of the only missions, away team missions, that you can't see all the rewards right there. Do I want to take a chance at some Latinum? Sure, why not? And it's defense. So as, and we'll use Saru. So now we're getting 43,000 ship XP. It's a pretty nice chunk of ship XP. Plus these 330 Axion ships, which is almost 3 exocomps. And more importantly, the ability to get these servos, which you get if you get 10 to 16 depending on what your recruit, and you do your chip consumable here. So you claim your chips and then you do this and you get either 10 or you get 16. At least that's what I get. And you can do it 3 times, one for each of them. The big one here doesn't give you any Axions. So if you can get, at max, if you can get 48, somewhere between 30 and 48 a day, and I need 1,400 to take this to level 40, and increase my chip bundle, and also open up the possibility of getting a different class of exocomps. And you need to do those conversions as often as possible. And getting big chunks of ship XP is a wonderful second benefit. Some of these other missions, yeah, not really so good. They're kind of junk. Lead Expedition, this is one that you need a miner. This is basically Nero. He's the best one for that, for a chance at a big amount of away team credits. It's not a bad one, but since I haven't invested any time into Nero's officer abilities, there's no crit chance for me there, so it would really just be committing officers for a whole day for 144 away team credits. Nothing too exciting. Boarding party's not bad. I have a lot of these rares, or these epics officer charts. Um, and again, tying up officers for 2 days for a decent amount. That's actually not bad. There we go. Kumak has one of those abilities. And then it's really just attack. There's a lot of people who have good attack, so put those guys on there. 23,000 away team service awards, which will actually help with research, so that's not bad. 2 days is a little long, but armed escort here. This is defense for 2 days. Yeah, this is going to be people I just don't use. This is kind of where you just throw some people in green officers and go, 93%, let's just hope that works. Usually I don't do that with 2-day events. I'll try and stick with that for 1-day assignments. Like this might have worked better if I had just done it this way, thinking about it. Here you've got there, Sulu, Vela. There's a 90% chance. And that'll be done tomorrow. Scientific breakthrough, no bonus, no hiding. It's really only that Axion one that I've seen that has the third reward for the hidden ship XP. But Rogue Daily Discipline is so bad. Yeah. Doing the rogue conversions, it's tedious. It's another unit of things to farm, and that really only goes into itself, much like data mining and things like that. Occasionally we do have the events, to kill the Eclipse hostiles. That does come around fairly often. And you do want to do the occasional Eclipse armadas, so you can work up your Stella, so you can scrap it really, because again, it's about getting the materials for the research. But it is, it's a whole nother tree. It's another path of things that you have to essentially grind for, and it's time consuming. And I know a lot of people kind of cut into that a little bit. A lot of people are pretty lax with their Borg discipline for that. It's just another thing that, they're data mining, those kinds of things, because they only serve the purpose of feeding into, you grind this to make this better so you can grind more with it. The new Stella research does help. The treasury helps too, because it increases the cargo capacity of your ships, so you do get a bigger cargo hold on your Stella. It gives you a little more room, so you can get more Eclipse codes, so it's a shorter trip. And then if you do have the new Prime, that adds like an extra 400%. Your Stella Max goes from like 100,000 or maybe like 110 with the treasury upgrades, 105, 110. And then suddenly it's like, no, now it's 400,000 or 450 or 500,000 or whatever it really gets up to once you've maxed everything out. And that'll kind of speed things up a little bit too. But again, that's a Prime you have to buy, and it's just for that one little thing. The only thing I will say about that is, of course, the Prime for the repair research. It was a $99, $99.99, another one of those $99 packs. The new repair research gave you 800 G5 gas, and you only needed like 500 for the research. So you had 300 left, and the Stella one only cost like 250. So you had enough to do both. Which is the only reason why I did it. That's what I spent my allowance on this month. Was that prime? But I know I'm feeling the burden the way everybody else is, getting tired of it being a never-ending sea of 99.99 price points for everything. And hopefully they'll take that feedback to heart. I know I've seen it on Facebook groups, I've seen it on Discord quite often. I've seen it on other people's streams that I watch their videos. Yeah, we're getting that. We're getting the price point fatigue. Right. I think that's going to wrap it up for tonight. We're just going to keep sitting here, just keep farming away. Would be nice if they discounted some of the older primes. Yeah, that absolutely would be. It's been 2 years. It's been 3 years. You know, I know the argument is that, well, there's still new people coming into the game, right? Yeah, but they're coming in on like newer servers. On the older servers, you guys talk about this. They talk about this all the time, where the age of server matters in their price points on things. Uh, Go back and change some prices. That's a pretty good idea, Olympus. I like that. You know, like some of this stuff out here. Some of these research packs or whatever. What's out here? Oh, now they're selling this one too. If I want to upgrade my ACC I can do this, and I can get some of these rare tactical cores, which the only way you can get is to open the G4 loot boxes for doing deep space armadas. Oh, but here's a pack where you can just 99.99. I get a whole bunch of them, and then I can upgrade that one specific building. No, no. Um, but yeah, some of these older things, territory research packs. Why are these still $100? Prime Rogue credit yield. Oh, this is the one that I did. Yeah. What's in here? The 1,000 crystal that you need and the outlaw credits. The server has aged, the server has progressed enough that a lot of people have this. Knock the price down from 99.99. Give it to the players who are still haven't reached that point yet. You know, do some inventory clear out. There you go. That's what this is. You got a bunch of old stuff still sitting around on the shelves. Most people have already bought it already or have decided they're not going to buy it. Let's have a yard sale. Let's do some inventory clean out and lower the price on some of these packs to 59.99 or 49.99. Let's start moving some stuff, trying to increase some sales on some older content. I like that, Olympus. I'm gonna have to find the people with the ears that I can talk into about that one. Really, I'll just message Rev and be like, "Hey, next time you're talking to one of your dev chats, this came up." But yeah, it'd be nice to have his level of access for sure, where you get to actually have conversations with the people who make the game and be like, "What are you doing?" You just want to start shaking them. Um, it's all virtual. He doesn't get to shake them either, but he at least gets to say his piece to them. We kind of have to go vicariously through him, and then he makes his lists, and DJ does the same thing. No One Shall does the same thing. They make their lists, and they're like, "Hey guys, here's some feedback suggestions." And Scopely goes, "Oh yeah, these are great," and that's it. But I'm gonna wrap up tonight's stream. We're just gonna keep looting these guys until they're bone dry. This still has 350 million to go, so it's gonna take a little while here. I do want to thank you guys very much for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed learning some things about ROM and some different crew combinations, kind of seeing how they all worked out. Be sure to like and follow on Twitch and YouTube so you get notifications when I do post videos or do go live. We'll be back on Sunday afternoon for our next live stream. And until then, see you around the galaxy.